The next step after the nines are the squares. The squares are easy to memorize because both factors are exactly the same. Also, they're called squares because they make a square. For example, here's a square. If this side is 5, I know that this side is 5 as well. And 5 times 5 equals 25. There are a total of 9 squares that we need to learn, but keep in mind that we already know most of them. For example, we already know that 1 times 1 equals 1. And we've also seen 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, and 5 times 5 when we worked with the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So let's check them off as well. And there's one more square that we already know. We've already seen 9 times 9 when we worked on the 9s, so let's check that off as well. That leaves only 3 squares that we need to learn. They are 6 times 6, 7 times 7, and 8 times 8. And these are the mnemonic devices for remembering those squares. Look at 6 times 6 equals 36. Just think 6, 6, 36. It's a rhyme, so write down rhyme. Here's the next square. We have 7 times 7 equals 49, and here's the story behind that. When I was a classroom teacher, I had twins in my class one year, and my entire class, including my twins, knew that there were 50 stars in the flag, because we'd always sing the song called 50 Nifty United States. However, there's another set of twins, and they're called the Sevens twins. And they haven't practiced as much as we have, so they don't realize that there are 50 stars in the flag. They forgot one of the stars, and they think there are only 49 stars in the flag. And that's why 7 times 7 equals 49. Just think of the Sevens twins, and they forgot a star. Let's write that down. So the Sevens twins forgot a star. Here's the next square. Here we have 8 times 8 equals 64. And here's the story behind that. Kids these days know about Nintendo Wii and Nintendo DS, but when I was growing up, we didn't have any of that. All we had was just plain old Nintendo. Then they came out with Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. So we're going to use Nintendo 64 as our mnemonic device. So here's our Nintendo 64 game console. And connected to the console is a controller. And on the controller, we have our D-pad, and that lets you go up, down, left, and right. And also on the controller, we have buttons. So we'll draw some buttons here. And notice that the buttons look like little number 8s. So when you see 8 times 8, just think Nintendo 64. Let's write down Nintendo 64 as our mnemonic device for 8 times 8. So here's 8 times 8. Just think of little buttons, and that should remind you of Nintendo 64.